Welcome to the From the 108 podcast, starring the drunk uncles of White Sox Twitter. He's a Twitter like whore, an Instagram thirst trap, and your grandma's guilty pleasure, Beef Loaf. A West Coast attitude in a decidedly Midwest body, My Sock Summer. And your host, he's sharing obscure music thoughts to give you time to hit the bathroom, Terezi E.
Thank you, Cornsey. Welcome to the From the 108 podcast. Get ready for some baseball, beer, and bullshit. And remember the drinking rules. If Beef Loaf says allegedly, or that he manifested that, you drink. If My Sock Summer talks about the gym or tells us he simply did not have time, you drink. And if I talk music or Star Wars, which is going to happen, you drink. And of course, you could all drink for just you can make all of us drink for $1. You can all drink too.
You can also drink for free, actually.
Look, why not? Drink all you want. It's on you. But you can make all of us drink for $1.08 or more. But speaking of drinking, fellas, what are you drinking? And are you on the quest? My Sock Summer, are you questing tonight?
Boys, guess what? I had time this week. I am on the quest. Look at this. I got Mad Dog 2020. I broke out the blue raspberry. It's been sitting in my freezer since I got it because, you know, Mad Dog is horribly offensive when it's warm. I'm going to pour it over some ice right now. I got my wife's good stemless wine glass we got. And so here we go.
Nice. That is technically wine.
Yep, just as good as I remember, which means it's been about 115, and that aftertaste is yes.
How's the chest heat? It heats you up inside,
does it?
It definitely has an aftertaste that is unpleasant, but you know what? I'm gonna power through this.
JT says, please be doing live ad reads tonight. We wish.
I am.
If you drink that whole bottle, we're getting at least a little bit of vomit.
And I showed you the two. My next two quests. I already have one lined up, so I'm taken care of for next week too. I will be on the quest also. I cannot drink both those products of liquor because my diabetes would return immediately.
I thought you were doing
both bottles.
I thought you were doing a flight when you showed us that you had both of those. I was like, I think he's doing a flight of drinks.
Jesus. The same color, basically. Treasy.
I mean, like
color drinks. You know, that's
the finest blue wine on the market.
The finest in blue drinks. Blue drink.
Beef, what are you drinking?
You know what? I am not on the quest, boys, because I'm still finishing the delicious Rose, man. I got like 8 of them left. I shared a few with you in the Sunday soak. It's delicious old man beer.
Only 8 left. That's impressive.
Well, almost done. I'm going to finish them tonight. We'll see. Maybe not all during the show, but that's
a
delicious.
30 or a 36 rack?
30. I've never seen a 36 rack.
Oh no, they got 36 racks.
I mean, I believe you that they got them.
That's too much.
What are you doing, Terezi? You questing?
I'm on the quest, baby. And I got the lights down low. I got it looking good because we're getting dark and luscious.
Oh, yeah. Franzia. Is it Franzia?
Yeah. Dark and luscious. Dark and luscious. That's what they used to call me in high school.
Franzia?
Dark and luscious.
Oh,
dark and luscious.
I was like, why? Why did they call you?
I don't remember that.
Well,
you're a different grade, so
you didn't take showers at the same time as me.
So Pedro says something because I'd heard this too. I never did this, but they used to do a Tour de Franzia where you would ride your bike around and drink the Franzia wine out directly from the bag, and then you would crash your bike somewhere.
I didn't want to.
I heard that.
I didn't want a lot of
colleges.
Didn't want a lot of spillage, so I actually, because you gotta let it air out. So I got a nice
there you go.
There you go.
Of Franzia, and you could see how dark and luscious it is.
It's very dark and luscious.
I can't tell the lusciousness from here, but the darkness I definitely can tell. That's for sure. I'm aware of this.
Think if you were to go to the bottom of the Chicago River, how dark and luscious it would be. You get the idea.
Hey Dog says beef's wild looking.
What happened to
look, here's what's going on. We're in the middle of a remodel here for my podcast background, and I pitched a couple ideas to Bonita, and we're gonna start working on it. So we're gonna change this up. So I had to clear most of it off. I left a little bit up there just for shits and giggles. So, and over the next week or two, we're gonna have some different shit going on, and I think you guys will like it once we get done.
Beef. I don't want to spoil any surprises for anybody. Yeah. All right, but maybe leave a little room. Me and my sock summer are working on something for your birthday.
Gift. Yeah, I heard.
We're likely going to be doing a beef birthday show at Cork at the park. But before that, we're doing May 18th, this Sunday.
Yes.
And if you miss it, I'm going to punch you in your balls if you miss it. That's just the rule. So if you miss it, then you show up to a game like a week later. I'm sorry, but you got to get punched in the balls.
All right. Hey, guys, while we're talking about this, let's go over this real quickly. So if you come, we have the hoodie sweatshirt, or a jersey hoodie, just given to me today by Mike Downey. So thank you for that. I have 3 varsity sweatshirts. We got 2 mediums and 1 XL that we're going to give away.
Wow.
Now, as you all know, we donated $202 for this exact bobblehead with a stogie. We'll have one of those given away too.
Hell yeah.
The Dick Allen with a cigarette, $200 value.
You were about to say Bill. Bill, who were you talking about? Bill Melton?
I've been fucking him up saying Bill Melton the entire fucking time. Honestly, I'm actually shocked. I'm actually shocked that Bill Melton wasn't
Vicky
listed
Mallon
as the bobblehead. Yeah, I've fucked it up several times in my head. And now this is the grand prize. To me, this is the grand prize. I don't know if everyone feels the same way, but Tim Elko autograph ball certified by MLB.
Yeah. Nice.
Mike was like, I know you guys will find a good home for this ball, and we will. So we have some prizes. We'll have some 108 gear to give away also. And we'll give away some booze. So yeah.
I'm just thinking about how sometimes our watch parties go. We're gonna get liquored up enough to be playing lob in Armor Park with the Tim Elko ball. I can't wait.
If I was gonna say something a little bit different. I was gonna say, once I'm juiced up and we're doing the giveaways, I'm gonna be like, this is the Tim Elko home run ball. We got our hands on it.
We stole it from his mother.
We paid more than the Barry Bonds asterisk ball to get you this.
That's right.
So I'm just gonna say it. We're getting right into this. It's gonna be a great show. But there is a fucking incredible storm going on outside.
Apparently.
So when all of our internet goes out, I hope you enjoyed what we've given you so far.
Sounds good.
My sock summer, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. And this week, on Tuesday, I had my best man for my wedding was in town with his whole family. He had his wife, his 2 sons. His daughter was not with him. She's still back in Arizona. But we were talking, and he had just recently, my friend had just recently signed up during March Madness. He was in our survivor pool, and he's the one that forgot to put in one of the 2 picks and lost. That he was like, I almost won that, and he's like, that was really fun. But he fucked it up. And so I asked him, I go, did you delete the gambling apps? Because he had got these gambling apps, hit a 6-leg parlay, and was like, all right, well, now I'm just deleting all these, right? Like, because now it's not going to get any better than this.
Sure.
And I was like, did you delete them? He's like, I didn't yet. And I go, well, has your son been hitting you up? Because he said, oh, my son's been trying to get me to get on these gambling apps forever because he wants to put bets in. And he goes, oh no, he set up his own betting account. And I was like, what? And he goes, yeah, he's set up on Prize Picks. He asked my buddy for $150 to be wired to Prize Picks to set up his illegal gambling app. And at one point he was like, I had to asked my dad if he'd take a selfie with me because he needed to do facial recognition with his ID and stuff. Yeah. So he got it all lined up, got it out. He got he put in his seed money was $150, and he got all his bonuses. He put a bet in, he hit a parlay, and so he said he was up about $700. Now he said he bet $50 on his parlay. So as the night is going on, and I find out that they don't want to kill him for this because they found out and they took it away and all this, but he lost all the money, so it didn't even matter. But like, so fun. As I found out that this is not a thing that they want to kill him out, I was like, so what'd you bet on? What'd you hit? What did you hit on your parlay? Because I was like, just gauge him. I know he's the numbers guy. right? And my buddy's dad has always been a numbers guy, so they've always talking about bets. And he goes, "Oh, dude." He's like, seriously, you should bet more WNBA. And I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, it's so easy to handicap. It's so easy to do this, blah, blah, blah. And I go, what did you hit? What was your parlay? And he goes, oh, I had this parlay with some things. And then my last leg was Angel Reese to hit 3 3-pointers. He's like, it was simple. It was easy. And then he goes on to tell me, he goes, the game's almost over and she only has 1 3-pointer, and then she starts shooting 3-pointers, and I'm like, all right. And then he's like, I put $50 on that parlay. Like, are you fucking insane? Yes. Why are you putting $50 on a 4?
Why don't you bet more? You won.
Like NBA.
Every time you win, you're like, I should have bet more on that shit.
He kind of lost money if I'm thinking about it, because he should have bet more.
Should have bet more. Should have been such a coward.
I just thought it was hilarious that him telling me that I need to bet more WNBA.
He's 8. He's 8 years old.
8 years old.
Yeah, he's a freshman in high school now.
Oh wow. Okay, so he's young. He's
and he wants old enough to have Slim Mickens' bookie in the back of the classroom. That's not that bad. A lot of people gamble at that age. Come on.
I definitely was thinking, okay, maybe we are going down the wrong path with legal gambling, because how excited he was to talk about all his gambling and all the picks that he was making that were just fun picks. Now they're prize picks that for kids. Yeah. It's like, oh man, this is just, smoking Joe Camel again all over. Just like, hey, come on in.
Realize how weak the prize picks is. He wants to get back in there with some real cheddar. I don't blame him. That's all it's going to do is make this kid work harder so he's got a gambling budget when he gets older. I sympathize with this. I like to gamble, and the reason why I work so hard is so I have some gambling scratch to do it. That's 100%. So it'll be a real fucking go-getter, this kid.
I wish you guys would have been around. You guys could have given him some ideas and some.
But he did have the delusional that he was able to handicap the shit.
Yeah,
he's a freshman in high school.
That's a bad start. That's a bad start.
That's a bad start. You just feel like you got lucky there. Now, had he had a little arbitrage action, I saw my guy White Sox Matt. He found a bet that was way off market, a prop bet that he was like, he had some app or whatever, edge find or whatever. Yeah, that's how you win at sports betting. You find some shit that is a good price compared to everything else, and then bet that shit. That's the only way to really win. There are handicappers, but you ain't going to do it.
You're not one of them.
I was telling my buddy, I was like, there's a show called Bookie on HBO, Showtime, whatever, that Max thing, because it keeps them changing names. It's called Bookie. And one of the guys that's with him, is putting $20,000 on the WNBA All-Star game. And they're like, who the fuck is this guy? And what does he know? Why should we take this bet, or whatever? Right. And it was just really funny. And then when he told me that he bet WNBA, I was like, you're on that show. So, yeah. But that's all I got for tonight.
Let's get a drink real quick from Pedro Velasco Jr. says, Pope providing hope before Crosstown Classic. Hell yeah.
I love it, Pedro.
Cheers, Pedro.
You, friend.
Cheers.
Man, I tell you, I should sprinkle some sugar in here, because
sugar in there?
And on it is just so bad.
I mean, maybe you need to wash it down with some bourbon. That'll take the edge off.
Yeah, I might do that later.
But speaking of illicit things, I keep seeing this on my Twitter feed. All right. And this is like Macron doing cocaine. That's what, the thing people are talking about. Mm-hmm. And it's all over the place. And people are like in disbelief and like, I can't believe this shit. And then people are going like, no matter what side of the aisle you're on. And they're like, Don Jr.'s out there doing coke too. And then we saw that MJ Jr. was doing coke and stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't know I had to let people know about this, but rich people do cocaine. I don't know.
Allegedly.
I hate to be the one to break it to you. But a bunch of rich people do cocaine. And I know that probably
some people too
ruins
heartbreak.
Ruins their standing in your lives. You're probably like, oh, I really thought that guy was a stand-up guy, but now I know he does cocaine, and it's a sad end to your love of that person. But in honor of you guys finding out that people do cocaine, I wanted to give you some of my top cocaine moments in movies.
Oh, in movie. Oh, I want it in your life.
I have zero. That's really? Not my MSS.
You're rich, though.
I have enough trouble sleeping. All right. I don't need anything to keep me awake.
You said rich people do cocaine, and you're the richest person I know. You have a sauna in your bathroom. Come on.
That one part of that is true. The sauna part is true. The richness is not. Right?
You're a VP of insurance things. Come on.
You see me drink a Stroh's. You know I'm not rich. Number five. From American Psycho, when they're doing coke in the bathroom, and that guy, and they're talking and they're yelling about something, and the guy pops over from the other side and he's like, "Can you keep it down? I'm trying to do drugs over here." That's my number 5. I don't know, you guys, American Psycho fans, I assume.
I love that movie. That's a great movie.
The book's better, but the movie's okay.
I watched that movie with Bonita when she was like 9 years old. You know, there's certain parts maybe you don't show a kid that young, but she still loves that movie. We'll watch it occasionally. So
the book made me almost pass.
I don't know why they're doing a remake.
No, it's perfect.
Oh, they're doing a remake?
No, they should not touch that movie at all. No way.
A remake. I have no idea why. I'm heavily on this train right now, guys, and I've told you this before. No more remakes. Yeah. Just re-release it. I'll go to if they put American Psycho back out theaters, I'd go see it.
Yeah,
and you got they made a book out of that.
They made a book out of that.
Yeah, they had a book about Lord of the Rings too.
It's like a 600-page book too. There's like a whole chapters about just music. It's great.
Yes,
Beef. This is one I think you and I both love, which is Deep Cover. I don't know if you've never seen Deep Cover, but there's this scene, and this scene is so ridiculous. They're having a party. There's only like 4 people at this party. And there's a stripper in the background for this entire scene, and they start getting into it, and they decide, you know, they're gonna play a game, and it's just the hand slap game, you know, like where you put your hands out and then you slap over the top. And this guy and the guy who played Julio on Sanford and Son on the right, he breaks Goldblum's fucking hand playing it. It's the most ridiculous thing ever, and it's the most coked out, insane scene. Like Lawrence Fishburne is sniffling like the whole time. Like it's the worst coke acting ever. It's like, we just want to remind you that these people are on cocaine because you could have never figured it out from the setting.
What's wonderful about that, Treasy, is that movie. Those guys, Lawrence Fishburne's character and Jeff Goldblum's character, are trying to introduce, like later on in the movie, synthetic cocaine. They're trying to the fake cocaine to try to override the real cocaine.
That's my favorite drug scene in the movie, but because it wasn't cocaine, I pulled it back, which is when
it's like, buy it, like
where they make the dude test it to make sure that it's okay, and he just like goes, buy it.
That's right. Great scene.
All right, number 3. I mean, this is like the free bird of cocaine scenes. Like it should be number 1 on most lists, but like Scarface, like when he just puts his face into the big pile of cocaine, and then like 2 seconds later, he's taking on the entire Bolivian army downstairs, and he gets shot 7,000 times and still standing. That's that's how good that shit was. And yeah, so this one. It's just so overplayed that it's not in my top 2.
It's in a lot of rap songs.
Yeah, I mean it's a great scene. It's a great. It made number 3.
And a great movie too, because it was like one of the first ones that wasn't like, it was a rated X, but it was because of the violence and not because of the sexual content. It was like
not because of the horniness.
Not because of the horniness. It was a different
not because he wanted to fuck his sister, but because of the violence.
It's a weird side plot, but yes.
That's in the original, Beef. Like in the original.
Oh, really?
From like the 30s. He has like this weird thing with his sister too.
Oh man, that's disgusting.
All right. Number 2.
Oh, baby.
The Goodfellas helicopter day. Like that scene, man. If your blood pressure doesn't go up from watching that scene, there's something wrong with you. There's something wrong with you. And I love, Beef, we talk about this all the time. Clay Davis being his doctor and giving him some value.
He goes to pick up his brother. He's like, let me check you out. The scene where where there's like a roadblock and he's trying to stop the car in time. That's the scene. That's like the heart attack scene when you're watching it. Like, oh my God, he's going to get into a big wreck right here and get in trouble. And he stops just short.
Number one. And I think when you see it, you'll be like, of course, this is number 1 on the list. Boogie Nights.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Christian. The kid throwing fireworks in the back. Alfred Molina being absolutely insane. The heist that tries to go down. This scene of that movie is so fucking insane. And it is like the most coke-fueled scene. We just talking about the Scarface one. This Scarface got nothing on the amount of cocaine that's being done in that room. So that's number one with a bullet. I mean, like that movie probably has 30 of them. Like the one, like when they're in bed, he's and the one Roller Girl's like, "Will you be my mom?"
Yes,
that's a fucking crazy scene too. But the Molina
very true to life,
number one with a bullet. And I think our guest has arrived. So MSS, why don't you pay some bills and then we'll get our guest going.
All right, here we go.
That is done, the fasting's through, but Lawrence is fun, that's always in view. You prayed, you waited, you gave up the meat, now treat your soul to that crispy heat. Down on Canal, the fryer don't sleep, 24/7, them flavors run deep. Midnight, sunrise, rain or shine, they're dropping shrimp in that holy brine. But let's talk shrimp, the best in the shy, no one does it better, and that's not a lie. Crispy, juicy, seasoned just right, a bag of joy in the pale street light. So whether you're holy, hungry or both, Lawrence's swears a deep fried oath. Come hungry, come often, bring the whole block, cause let Lawrence's baby, yeah, we don't stop.
I wish you guys could see MSS dance to that. Well,
at the end, man,
the groove he's got going.
He's really into it. Even that's like the 50th time he's probably
great
heard
guitar. It's great guitar at the end there.
The audience loves it too.
It's a great song. It's a great
rap. All right, well, let's bring in our guest. It's Cubs week. We got the Cubs Sox this weekend.
Crosstown Classic.
So we got to bring in our Cubs expert, our guy that we've worked with for a long time. We love him. He's a friend of the show for a long time. You can find him at carlsblogs.com. He's the hottest Carl we know. Let's bring him in. Carl, welcome to the show, man. How's it going?
Yes.
Wow. What's up, Carl?
It's an honor to be here. Can we check levels? Do I sound okay?
You sound wonderful.
You sound great. You sound great. Yeah.
It's a big fear of mine to join the show, be minutes in, and nobody wants to say you sound like shit. Guys, it's a huge honor. Thanks for having me on. Dead serious.
Thank you,
dude. Great to have you. Great to have you. You've done the au jus, but I don't think we've had a nice foursome like this before. So I'm very excited. Very excited to get down. Very excited to talk some Cubs. And let's just jump into it real quick. And you're a big Catholic school guy. We know that. So how are you personally taking the news that Pope Leo is over here with us down on the south side? What's up?
Yeah, it's a big deal, guys. I don't think people are really talking about Dalton to the Vatican. I used to do the insurance in Dalton. I can personally tell you, it's an all-time underdog story. Talking Seabiscuit with Tobey Maguire. Dalton to the Vatican. Because when people say he's a Chicago guy, I think it's more appropriate, like, not be specific, because it's, I don't like those jokes like, well, he's from a suburb. Like, go on down to Dalton, guys. Like, it's not like he's making himself sound any better. I was with my dad when the news got announced, and he's class of 71 from Brother Ice. He hit the phone so hard. We were having lunch, and he's like, Pope, Chicago, Mendel. He starts calling everybody on the phone. He's like, you know this guy? You know this guy? It's a big deal. Last thing I have on Pope Chicago, this is why the reaction on social media in Chicago is why we can't have nice things in sports, because it's just how many Malort jokes can we make in an hour?
Oh, like
the amount of blasphemy that came out of this news. No wonder Michael Jordan doesn't come back. We just can't handle nice things.
They burned it all up. You're right. They burned it up in 2 hours. It was like, we got a Pope, and everyone ruined it.
Carl, we were at Cork at the Park, like the Saturday afterwards. Right? It's like Saturday afternoon, and this guy comes rolling through with like a shopping cart full of Pope shirts, like he's Bubbles in The Wire, and we're just like, yeah, what are we doing?
What are we like? Like, who's gonna buy those from this guy? And then our buddy Joe comes through with 3 of them. He's like, I got it, and get them.
There's a line you got to draw on selling Pope merch because, I mean, it's there if you want it. But then who's wearing Pope merch? Now, Bear season rolls around, a Pope 14 jersey, that's in play. The Pope 14 jerseys are in play. It's an interesting submarket is the Pope merchandise economy. My sock summer, I gotta ask, like, you probably already have like a couple garage sales picked out to upload some merch.
So it's funny because we said this, or I said this in the group chat. I was like, listen, we can make a Pope shirt and we'll probably sell a bunch of them and like it'd be fine. I go, but it just seems really, really silly. Like I don't want to do it, and it's like it's almost too cringy for me. And I'm king of cringe.
Yeah.
But it's gotten to the point, Carl, where there's a big brouhaha going right now between the original people that stole the White Sox logo to make the Pope thing, and then the people that stole the Pope logo that person copied from the Sox. And they're like, no, buy it from the original instead of buying it from the bootlegger. And it's like, you're a bootlegger too. Like, you understand that you stole somebody else's idea to make your shirt. You did not make original art here. So I have this blog that I've been working on. I need to finish it. But it's just like, I mean, you can. What are you doing here? It's like me yelling at another White Sox blog for using the White Sox logo that we use. Like, I can't say, hey, we used it first. You can't use the Batterman logo. No, that's stupid. You've already stolen. Like you're just trying too much. And then you go to it's Hairbrained, but you go to Hairbrained's site and all of their shirts are stolen, like artwork from other things. And it's like, you're not paying Disney to put Jasmine on the women's period underwear trying to sell. Like, come on, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. Speaking of stolen artwork, obviously, now we're going to talk about the Vatican. Allegedly, my dad, he went, not to talk this whole podcast about my father, but he went to the Vatican. Okay. Calls me, goes, you won't believe how much art's apparently everything's stolen. Like so much art, so much nice stuff. The Vatican, gorgeous. So we'll see what type of Chicago touch. As far as the logos are concerned, I'm just interested more in like the White Sox fan perspective, the original thing, and not to go so heavy Pope, but like out of respect, really.
Right.
That's right.
When they said Cubs fans, and then our marquee sign guy was just fucking like. Now, then you find out this guy's at the Pacific game. Are you kidding me? This guy's in a. Do we know what jersey he was wearing too? Probably a fucking Ron Kittle. No, I mean,
no. You know what?
Yeah, we don't know for sure. You couldn't see it all that stuff.
I would say Creedy. I would say Creedy's a good one, maybe, or like maybe it's even an Ordonez.
Canseco.
Like he hadn't even upgraded.
100% a Canseco.
That's a big.
He bought it from the same guy as me.
We were so excited, and the Sox fans could not wait to dunk on the tweet. The tweet that the Cubs official put out there, they were crushing that thing. And, respect to the Cubs official account, they left that shit up there for a while. They were just like, go ahead and hit it. Like, we've screwed up. Here you go, hit it. And it was like,
they got a note. They got a bullshit note on there that said, they put this up as a joke. It's like, no, they did not. They did not put this up as a joke.
Speaking of cocaine, Treasy.
That's a good call. Don Paul would be. Don Paul is the jersey.
Your sixth favorite cocaine scene ever. Don Paul.
The University of Illinois. Yeah.
Really? I didn't realize that.
Oak Lawn guy. Yeah, never mind. I'll keep going.
He was good. He used to hang out at Chinnick's over in the neighborhood.
So we're here.
Cams.
So we were young. Speaking of young, though, there's a player on the Cubs, Carl, that I feel like, as I got a lot of Cubs fans at work, and I talk to them about baseball and stuff, and I feel like there's a range of emotions about a particular player, and that's PCA. So Pete Crow Armstrong. Some people are just like cautiously optimistic. Some people are over the moon. Some people are like, this feels like a fluke. Where are you at? Is he the next big thing for the Cubs?
Yeah, I think he's sensational. He's going to end up costing a lot of money. And the stuff he does very well, shows up every day, which is the defense and the speed, causing havoc on the bases. I don't think the league has pitched him well yet. No one has pitched him inside, and that's probably because people just don't pitch inside anymore. I think if he was coming up 15 years ago, he'd have a real hard time against that wave of pitchers, meaning more command, 92 inside. Today's game, there's so many mistakes over the middle of the plate, and there's so much four seam over the heart of the plate. And so he's a really good athlete. This is my long-winded way of saying, like, I think he's really good. There's a reason he's played really well this year. But if we're going to be like saying he's one of the greatest players, people are comparing him to Julio Rodriguez, and like he's done it for so much longer. People are comparing him to Corbin Carroll. I think that's maybe a closer comparison, but Corbin Carroll's got a little bit of like a tighter baseball skill set. Mm-hmm. You know, Pete's got a lot of swing and miss, but with the swing and miss, comes the really hard contact. So the strengths for Pete Crow Armstrong, I think, like, are so obvious that anybody, like, we all know what those are. The weaknesses are, I don't think I'm being dead serious. I don't think Ian Happ likes him. I don't think people
really playing next to each other.
So reckless in center field.
Okay.
And you'll see on routine fly balls, Ian Happ will be like fucking waving his ass off where there's really no reason. I think now this is me overreacting, but like he is reckless, and that is more of a serious thing. And a serious thing is playing at Wrigley Field and running in that fucking wall. And like,
yeah.
You can't be Aaron Rowan running into walls out there.
Not the brick wall, no.
Not speaking that into existence. I actually have a question for you guys that I think is like burning on my mind about him. So let's assume, I think he's around an 840 OPS. So I'll give you player A, player B. They both have an 840 OPS. Do you want a 300 OBP 540 slug? Do you want 390 OBP 450 slug? So 300 OBP, big slug, 530. So you're like below 25% out OBP, top 25%, top 10% slug. Or do you want a guy who's more middled out? 390, you're going to be top 10% OBP, probably top 5% maybe, but 460 slug. So those are the two players. Which one would you guys rather have?
Yeah, I mean, I think as far as value goes, you want the higher on base guy, so the guy who makes the outs less. However, we've been watching a lot of bad White Sox baseball where they've even lately been getting people on base and they don't have the home run thunder. So sometimes I really like seeing that 540 or 550 slug, just seeing the guy smash the ball out of the ballpark. And the way runs are scored today in this MLB, I almost would rather take the slug guy,
I think the game's going the way of the slug guy because you watch a lot of these games. And I was talking to my buddy at work who's a Reds fan today, and he's like, this is how the Reds are. They lost 2 or 3 to the Sox. If they don't hit, they really don't hit. Like they're just not going to score at all. And I watch highlights every day. That's how most of the teams are now. Like you see teams that you think are like a juggernaut, and it's like they lost 6-1 the other, the last night because there's just no, like, they get those droughts, and that's just the swings you deal with. It's more ebb and flow like that because they're just willing to live and die by the home run. But the reason is in the playoffs, it's all about the home run.
Yeah.
Like you got to hit the home runs in the playoffs. Yeah. So you need that guy. And so if I'm able to get to the playoffs, I want 540 slug guy.
It's a really good point.
And Praz is saying, and he's like, with his speed, give me the first guy, assuming that's PCA. And I think I heard that on the score this morning. That the first number was like 300, but his slugging was way up. So I would go with the A guy too, because I like the way that goes. It's like an all or nothing.
Yeah. So just with PCA, it's kind of like right now he is player A. Over the long term, though, you want to see the OBP just go up just because guys are going to pitch him differently
for sure
and not be more willing to make mistakes. So that's kind of like the next adjustment. There's a big adjustment phase he has to go through. But like my original point, the speed and the defense shows up every day. I think he's a 4.5, 5 win player as long as he's healthy. Yeah. And that's kind of why I was talking about, like, he is reckless, though. And like, I would like to see him, and this is cliche, but I would like to see him become a little bit more big league and not so like hyperactive out there in center field. But I don't want him to take away from the passion that makes him a great player. And I'm being dead serious about that. So
yeah,
great player. Love him. I mean, it's going to cost $200 million to extend him now.
Do you feel like do you feel like he's reckless at the plate too? Like, or do you feel he has control of the zone and there's just so many pitches for him right now that maybe he's swinging a little too much, or he's,
he had a great spring training. He was 17 for 34 in spring training, and he was trending up towards the end of last year. And he was doing it in a way that kind of frustrated fans at the time because people want to see him hit the ball the other way, bunt more, take more pitches. But he's just such a great athlete, and like he wants to let the big dog eat. And that's an argument at the beginning of the season when he's striking out and he's hitting 170 and he looks like shit. But then over a week when he hits 4 or 5 home runs and people are talking about a power speed threat, can you imagine if he steals 60 bases and hits 30 home runs? And so you can't really get to that. Like,
he's fucking Eric Davis, maybe.
He can't be bunting to do that.
You don't want Eric Davis to bunt. You want Eric Davis to hit home runs and steal bases.
So I applaud him for not giving into the initial, hey, I'm in the big leagues. I'm going to do what it takes, to play every day and be part of this team rah-rah stuff, which is really enticing a young guy who gets called up to the big leagues. But in the other respect, what's best for the team, what's best for him, what's best for the organization is if he shows up and he's like, I'm going to be the fucking absolute best player I could be today. I'm going to ball the fuck out. I'm going to play the absolute best I can because that's all that fucking matters. Not if I'm, moving runners and doing the things that people are going to pull off. Whatever I'm best at, I got to be the best at that. And like, it's hard to do as a young player in that league. And so credit to PCI. I think the world of them. There is probably an adjustment coming. And Cubs fans are just terrible, like online about him and stuff. So like, I could go for a long time about this guy. We're just a treat though to watch him,
It's amazing because he's playing so well. How can people be sour about it? Like, it's just like, I don't really understand. Like, the guy plays great defense. He hits for a ton of power. Like,
people want him to lead off. People want the extension done. People want, like more credit and, it's not enough to say. And then the other is the overreaction, because what's going to happen is he is going to get pitched inside. We do have divisional games coming up. Like there is going to be an adjustment to him. It's going to be on the inside part of the plate. He's going to have some tough stretches, and hopefully, it goes away quickly. And I think he's in a good environment and a good team. And I think he's got a good head on his shoulders. But like when that slump comes, I just can't handle the overreaction. Last thing, for example, Kyle Tucker's hitting like 180 over his last 15 games, and people are like, well, maybe we don't extend him, or, people are bitching about it. It's like, guys,
take it easy. It's still a monster.
It's a hard sport, the best league in the world. Like,
when he cranks like 5 home runs this week, I think people will be back in. Carl, I did want to ask you about someone you wrote about recently, and I'm not going to ask you about him playing third base, but Cade Horton. Is he the pitcher that's going to come in and kind of save the staff from missing Justin Steele?
I hope so. Maybe the thing that's missed on that, like Colin Ray has already stepped up for Justin Steele, and I want to say they're 5-1 in games started by Colin Ray and not Justin Steele. The question people have is, who do they trade for at the deadline? And we've got 6 prospects in the top 100 at the AAA level, now at big league level with Ballesteros. And so what Cade Horton to me can do is, I think he's as good as someone we could get at the trade deadline for a playoff run. If someone's saying, go get Sandy Alcantara, he's washed. Or Pablo Lopez for $20 million and giving up prospects. Like, you see him pitch. I mean, like,
he's fine, but he's not a difference maker, Pablo Lopez.
You're not putting him on the mound at the start of a series.
Yeah, he's a game 3 or 4 starter.
Yeah.
Like, he's not. Yeah, no, he's not a difference maker.
Yeah, I don't think so. But these are names that come up, and then we start talking about like, well, Triantos, it's an offensive minded second baseman. That's hard to fucking get. We're just going to give that up for Pablo Lopez, like, Right. And so is Cade Horton as good as Pablo Lopez over the course of the season? Probably not, but he's really fucking talented, and he's uniquely good. So it's not just the stuff. Everybody loves talking about stuff, stat cash, fucking numbers, art, velocity. His shit's tight, and it's repeatable. It's consistent. It's athletic. It's from a short arm swing. Like Drew Brees throwing passes and shit from his, it just comes right up here. And like, that does make a difference. Like when we do talk about this series this week, Jonathan Cannon's pitching for the White Sox. That fucking guy's going for a ride, And so
tall drink of water. He's 6'6".
Right. There's a lot of these differences there. With Cade Horton's going to be on an inning count, but he's uniquely good, and he's got great makeup. And then the last thing, I was thinking about this. I was hoping we'd talk about Cade Horton, because I swear, I'm like, who's my best comp for you guys? Throw out the stuff, right-handed, left-handed, throws 96, all the stuff. Just presence on the mound, okay? Trust him to make a play, and kind of that, like, confidence. I was like, this guy kind of reminds me of Mark Burley, dude. Kind of reminds me of Burley. He's got a quiet,
like the awareness out there, kind of like
boy. Don't fuck with him, but one of the boys, really just wants to get off the mound as soon as he's on the mound and kind of just bullets and deals and just has like tremendous confidence, but like isn't going to fucking tell you about it. Like kind of has a little bit of that country twang. I don't know if that's inappropriate or like how you guys.
I was going to ask if he catches the ball and throws it directly back to the catcher, because then I would yes, that feels Burley.
Yeah. How many seconds between pitches? Yeah,
but like Burley, people would always say like, all right, or when you talk about a pitcher, what pitches do they throw? And I like to categorize it and say you have your fastball and you have your breaking ball, and then obviously there's like different fucking iterations and stuff. But like Burley really had, to me, an infinite amount of breaking stuff where like whatever the situation dictated, just a real artist. And like whatever, he just like, if he wanted to snap a little bit more, if he wanted to tighten it up a little bit more. Yeah. And so like when I was watching Cade Horton's debut, like he had what I thought, like someone would say, oh, it's a slider, it's a cutter, he throws a sweeper, he's got a curve. I'm like, I think these are all just situational breaking pitches, and they're like fucking really tight and athletic, and he's kind of fits and so it's hard to categorize breaking stuff, and the word is artistry. I just love Burley too, and I wanted to share that with you guys. So.
I love it.
You gotta love Burley as a former pitcher yourself too. Like you have to respect that, and like this, a guy that can be out there. Burley is in the same grain as like Maddox to me too. Like guys that just could. Maddox is better at it, but like Maddox could just overpower a guy just by putting stuff where he wanted it and knowing enough about what it needed to do, where he needed to put the ball to get it to where he wanted it. And it's masters at the game, masters at the craft.
It takes a tremendous amount of confidence. And then when you consider to do that, if you throw 95, so like it just kind of amplifies like that. I did a show with Arietta for a while, and got to know like, a little bit more of the inside stuff. And like it's just funny to hear big leaguers talk about Kyle Hendricks and be like, describe him as a gangster.
When he's landing in there 88 miles an hour, but he's getting out. It's like
it's all over the same part of the plate. It just one is going to do this, one is going to do that. But to like do that, you have to throw it over the heart of the plate, and you got to be out there being like, I throw 87. I got to throw this over the heart of for this to succeed. I literally have to aim like down the middle.
And let it roll.
And so, I love those guys. Now, Cade Horton does throw 97. That's the difference.
Very helpful.
He pitches
when you have all that plus that's nice. That's nice. I will say, if he is truly, if he has a career like Mark Burley's, please don't let him go to the Marlins for fucking nothing, because John Danks is coming.
Make you sad.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Danks was like everything. I don't know. I don't want to do this. I like Danks was a competitor, and he left it on the field a lot of times. But
we like Johnny Danks. Yeah.
That shoulder is the shoulder.
Once the shoulder was cooked, that was it.
And I love the 3/4 sleeve, like way over the. He looked like Warren Spahn. He just fucking right over the top.
So you were talking about trade deadline. You'd say, what's going to happen at the trade deadline. Now, one guy that me and Beef do these like trades with every teams every year. And one guy we've talked about this year, especially, is Matt Shaw. And is Matt Shaw going to be getting playoff at bats with the Cubs, or is he going to be the piece that lands them something big in the trade market?
Hey, good question. That's a really good way to frame it. The playoff at bats, because he will come back up, and I do like what they're doing to develop him after hating what they originally did to bring him up. Will he get playoff at bats? I'm gonna bet yes. I will bet yes, based on all the circumstances. I would like to see them trade for Nolan Arenado, which is ridiculous, right? But I would like to see that.
It's mostly money to get Arenado, kind of. I mean, so it's doable.
Yeah, I mean, once the cards are out of it, I mean, like that, you gotta hope that they cool off a little bit, because they've been.
When you say money, they are playing well. That 8-9 in a row postponed last night. I didn't see tonight what they're doing, but when you say the money, what is Arenado's money?
That's a good question. I don't remember off the top of my head, but I will look it up.
Okay, I like him or someone like him, but there are so few good third basemen right now that just the idea of a veteran coming in. I don't want to see people are talking about trading for Rafael Devers. Like I would. I mean, what do you got? Crack? Come on.
I don't think Boston's even in the market to do that regardless. I mean, like, I think you're, you know, if you're looking outside of someone like Arenado, maybe you're looking at like a Ryan McMahon or something, but you don't know how that's going to translate.
Arenado's 21 this year. He's 16 and 26, and then he's 15 and 27. So there's still quite a bit of money left on that.
But then, and then that holds up Matt Shaw. And the opening part driving this it's Judd Hoyer's like favorite player. Yohan Moncada's funny. I think Yohan Moncada's got like a 940 OPS.
He does. He's hitting right now. Yeah.
Don't do this to me. That would be crazy. And one of the points I made on the Monday Morning Cubs show about like Devers. All right, so like I'm not pointing fingers. I'm just saying like we have no Latin presence in the Cubs, like none. Miguel Amaya, that's it. Like there's just Pedro. We used to live in an era of Starlin Castro and then Pedro Strop and just like Miguel Montero, just some really great bombastic personalities. We have Dansby Swanson oiling the team's glove on the bus ride up to Milwaukee. Like it's so much different. And so I'm just giggling about, okay, we're not going to get Rafael Devers in any event. The Latin presence within the Cubs, comparatively to the way Matt Shaw plays the game, it's like just Jed Hoyer's favorite player of all time. He was so excited to put him on the opening day roster, even though he was trash in spring training. He's like played 38 fucking games in AAA. Like, he's a good player. My biggest complaint, way too fucking nice. Just such a nice boy. And that's going to work out in the long run because he doesn't fuck around and he's settled down family kid. But he's so nice. And then it's like, you have a bad game, he doesn't get mad. And so I could go long-winded on Matt Shaw, but I'll just turn it over to you guys. Like, are there nice players in the history of the White Sox where you're like, I wish this guy had more of a chip on his shoulder?
Oh man, I'm trying to think of a good example because I mean, I would have to be on the pitching side. It would have to be on the pitching side because I don't recall
maybe like Gavin Floyd, but Gavin Floyd was more. He was nice and really dumb. Yeah, it's really dumb.
He was more like Forrest Gump nice. Like,
yeah, exactly. You know where he's at.
I guess maybe that is a good example though, but he is a good example of a guy too that like, yeah, as much as you need to like have a short memory and have, you know, some like some high confidence and things like that. I feel like Gavin Floyd would often not understand the situation he was in. And sometimes it was great, right? Because he's like throwing a no-hitter and he like has no idea. It seems like he has no idea that he's throwing a no-hitter. But then there's sometimes where it's like bases are loaded and it's like, I'm not gonna throw a strike to this guy. Why would I? And those were the kinds of things where it's just like, okay, I don't know if he's got it all there. And maybe I don't think that's niceness though. I think that's dumbness. But yeah, I'm trying to think of a nice player. I can't think
for
of
some
one,
reason.
Carl, to be honest.
Matt Thornton comes to mind. Like, I just wish that he would have had a little bit more intensity.
Maybe help him be a closer, right? Because he stunk as a closer. He was a good eighth inning guy.
That's probably a good call.
Because when I met him, I hated him, Carl. I because he got the bubble guts every time he came in. You were just like, he's gonna fuck this up somehow. And I met him, and he was like the nicest person that I ever met. And I was like, God, I feel so bad hating you for all those years and cursing at you. But yeah, I mean, that was the one guy that just jumped into my mind. Was like, he was almost too nice. He needed to have a little bit more of an edge.
Yeah, I'm like going through the roster now. I'm just like doing some light research and just the amount of cocksuckers, sorry, watch my language, that jump that were wearing a White Sox uniform at one point in time. It is remarkable. Obviously, Nick Swisher, AJ Pierzynski, Aaron Rowan. I was like, I wonder what some of these nice guys are doing.
I mean, we like Jermaine Dye was a nice guy, but he killed for the White Sox. So I don't know. We don't need him to get any more mean.
We also went out of our way to get guys that like were like on the edge too, of things, like as their career was ending, like Manny Ramirez, Jose Canseco, you know, like it's like these kind of guys where it's like no one wants them anymore. It's like, oh, we'll give them a run. Let's see what's happening.
Hey, I have a good comparison. Gordon Beckham. Like now we're just talking about playing with a chip on your shoulder. Like I would just act like it's. So one thing I like what the Cubs are doing with Matt Shaw, they sent him down to AAA. He's way too good for AAA. And everybody's like, we should bring him up. We don't have a third base. Nicky Lopez is playing third baseman, but Nicky Lopez is a fucking he's more of a big leaguer than Matt Shaw right now. Matt Shaw's up there fucking looking in the stand. I can't believe there's 40,000 people here. Yeah, buddy. Yes. Well, and the nacho helmet is $26.50 fucking after tip tax. Get your ass in the box. It's a serious fucking. So what we're doing with him in AAA is getting him mad. You know, like we all know he belongs, but he has to be personally disgusted with Des Moines, Iowa. He wait till the summer whiff comes in.
It's hot.
Yeah,
there's some sweet corn. He doesn't want anything to do with it. Yeah, no, that's. I feel you there. How much of it you think, Carl, is just that they were forcing him into a third base role? He wasn't much of a glove man. He played second, kind of all the way up, and it's like, well, we've got a middle infield that's lined up. They weren't able to trade Nico Horner. I mean, like Nico Horner could be a good trade asset for a team that needs a shortstop because he's a good shortstop. But you got a shortstop. How much of it is like they're forced him into the third base hole, and that kind of like is a problem too?
Yeah, there's too much. I mean, he's thinking about so much. He's got to worry about that. He's not. He is a good athlete, good defender. He will be a good third baseman. I like what you're talking about with Nico Horner as a trade. Nico Horner's a clubhouse guy, and he does a lot of this intangible stuff that's hard to replace. I love his chemistry with Dansby Swanson up the middle. We're elite up the middle between those two in PCA. So like, I'd be super hesitant for like Matt Shaw. However, in the offseason, that's an interesting consideration because as much as I like Nico Horner, I think he delivers. He gives you great at bats. I mean, he's a tough strikeout, fucking knows what he's doing, doesn't swing out of his shoes. However, comes with swinging out of his shoes is low OBP, low slug, high average. You know, so like finding spots for him over 162 to be a difference maker, as Trees point out, great about the way the league's evolved and needing the slug. Like Nico kind of leaves you like, hope you like hitting 280. He Gold Glove defense, good base runner, etc. So he could get moved in the offseason. But our third base problem, you know, it will end up being Matt Shaw's job to lose. I'd be surprised if Jed moves prospect capital for short term when Matt Shaw's his guy, loves Matt Shaw. So like we're just doing is waiting, patient, and like joking around, but being dead serious, dude. Like I need him to hate Jack in the Box tacos from fucking like I want him to be so mad. He's like, they gave him a little taste of Japan out of the gate. They're fucking, you know, bowing to him, fucking serving him the freshest fish in the world. And like literally,
he's gonna want to come back for that.
A lot lizards in Des Moines are just trying to like, man, like 4 for 4, 5 for 5. He's like, call me back up, dude. So if that's what Jed's doing, tip of the cap. I think so, maybe.
I'm glad we got a lot lizard reference. That's all I can ask for here.
Might be the first time
hitting a balloon. Like, hey, buddy.
Sorry. Carl, let's get some predictions for this series. What do you think's going to happen in the next 3 days?
All right, did some research. I'm comfortable in saying the Chicago Cubs are going to win 2 of 3 games. Okay. I don't want to say sweep because you guys are playing good baseball right now, and like, you know, the Marlins, and so I'm not going to be egregious here and come in here and say I want to fucking run it down your throats all 3 games. I think sweep would be nice. 2-1. I'm excited to see Shane Smith pitch.
Yeah.
He's good
against Cade Horton. That'll be fun.
Yep.
I'm excited to see Jonathan Cannon pitch on Sunday against Colin Rea. That can be a close game depending on, like, Cannon strikes me as a guy, like, if he got out of bed the right way in the morning and the sun was shining.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, things need to be perfectly aligned for this guy. But if they are, you know, fucking, he's got some interesting stuff too. Does he know who he is? Identity crisis in his arsenal. And like, he's like a Walmart
over time. Yeah.
He also feels like he'll adjust to the game. Like MSS was talking about this the other day. It's like he definitely has scenarios where like he comes out. Like if you guys are on him early, you got to stay on him, right? Because like he'll come out, give up like 4 runs, and then be like perfect for the rest of the game.
Yep.
And
he'll
so
lock
like
down and hope. Hope.
He does. He's good at adjusting, but sometimes he's real bad at starting out.
Yeah, so that's pedigree. I like
not
it.
Bryce
I like
Wilson,
a 6'6" SEC guy. Like I mean, just having the fucking guy in the road, like 6'6", Georgia, a ton of stuff. That big arm swing, like whatever. Maybe he figures that out, cleans that up, gets the timing and the rhythm. Like Jake Arrieta had like a real long lot of moving parts, and like when it's synced, it's like that's kind of the trade-off. It's not too different than like a hitter, like the trade-off of just selling out or putting more in to get like more out of it. And okay, last thing I had on this, Sean Burke, also 6'6". Okay, that guy fucking stinks. That guy,
he's been rough,
dude.
He was our opening day starter, Kyle.
Oh,
yeah. We were all kind of a little in shock. We're like, wait a minute, why are they doing that? No one predicted that at all. You know, he hasn't held it up. He's had a couple recent.
His last game
starts.
Was good, right?
Yeah, but it's been rough.
He's trending in the right direction. Carl, when
you're so great at controlling the ball,
that's
only
so
go
hopelessly optimistic. He's trending. Is he trending?
He's trending the right way after his last start
towards a better future in his current existing shitty state.
You know, you bring up a guy that's even worse, like Bryce Wilson, and then you're like, well, you know what? Maybe Burke isn't as bad as I thought he was. Like, because this guy sucks. Like this.
Where did
this guy's
Bryce
getting
Wilson
hammered.
come from?
Oh, he was a free agent sign in the offseason. Yeah, it was basically to eat innings for us, and he was eating them, but giving them a lot of runs.
Right? Did he spell it BRYSE?
Yes, yeah,
motherfucker.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I remember that guy coming into games 5.3 ERA. We're going to get to this guy early, 6 scoreless, fucking cruising, 81 pitches. So, no, I think 2-1. If you guys win this series, people like, I'm going dark for a while. If we lose this series, we should win the series all 120 games, and we had today off. You guys are traveling in from Cincinnati. That's not a hard historically, but my understanding is Jerry doesn't have the most amenity-laden travel accommodations.
Right.
It's the plane for Major League that they're flying. Is there a pilot?
I don't think there's any stewardess. Great fucking movie. Can I get predictions from you guys? Do you mind? Just so I,
Yeah, absolutely.
Originally, I was like, they're gonna do really well. I come out and shock people, win 2 out of 3, but then them winning in Cincinnati like they did, and like having a couple close games, it made me think they might have expended too much effort there. So I don't think they're gonna get swept either. But I only see them winning 1 out of the 3, unfortunately, and hopefully Sunday.
I saw a bunch of tweets saying that the prediction is that the wind's gonna be blowing out tomorrow at Wrigley. That's generally not a great sign for the White Sox because even Shane Smith, who's been good, the strikeout rates aren't high enough to handle the wind blowing out anywhere. So I think they'll lose Friday. I think they lose to Sean Burke on Saturday, and I think Johnny Cannon comes through with it on Sunday when we got the watch party at Cork at the park, Treasy.
That's what I was going to say. Like, all I need is the Sunday win.
Win.
The Friday and Saturday, I won't be around anyone else watching those games, and I can just leave it on the TV and be like, okay, well, I kind of saw this come in. At least I bet the over. Like I could have those moments. But Sunday we're going to be there with a bunch of people. I need a good performance. I need John Cannon to rip off the shirt, have the tank on underneath, and be the pitcher we want him to be
with his Italian horn.
Exactly.
Even though he's probably Irish or something. I don't know.
Now, Carl.
Good luck to both teams. Hopefully, no injuries.
Yeah,
good luck to you. Let's come together as Chicagoans and just bet the overall weekend and see what happens.
Okay. Thanks for having me on, guys. I appreciate it.
Sincere. Well, we have one more thing.
We have one thing for you if you've got a minute. If you've got a minute.
No, I do have time. What do you guys have?
So
what do you have for me?
So we read the blog. We enjoy the MILF of the day section, and we wanted to give you a couple suggestions. Maybe some you're not familiar with. We want to get you familiar with some people and see if maybe one of them could get into the blog and soon. MSS, I'll start with you. You're the horniest of us.
So
you probably got
easily.
The best.
Yeah, no, that's
before that. There you go.
You get the yellow pad out.
Before today, Carl, I'm doing some research on this. I never in my life would have said, you know what, MSS, you might fuck somebody over the age of 65. I never would have thought I would have run across somebody that I would say, you know what, I'd still give it to her, until I ran into Billy Joel's former wife, Christy Brinkley, who is pictured here from her Instagram. And you can see the sun is shining through, and you can see a little bit of underboob there with Christy Brinkley. I don't know what will happen if you touch her face. Will it fall apart? I'm not sure. But her body is still slamming and she's looking pretty good. And she is 71 years old. And I am like, this is insane. But I think I could pull it together and still get it in on Christy Brinkley.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Pretty good one.
Beef.
Christy Brinkley. That's a full hand. That's full hand. I mean, you showed it. I'm just commenting. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get your hands out, boys. That's
a full mitt of breast assist. Yeah,
and that's all natural. I think I'm pretty sure that's all natural.
That's a nice lady to just sit across from, like at a meal before you make. Like you're having wine. You're
just hanging out and
talk about how much cocaine she did with Chevy Chase and Vacation. How fun it was to drive that Ferrari. Like a lot of things you can discuss with her.
Yeah, a lot of stories, I suppose. Yes.
Yep. Beef, who you got?
Now I have a few. The first one that came to mind, Carl, was I have a few. Yeah, I have a few. Was Chucky star and poker player Jennifer Tilly, but unfortunately, I researched her. No kids. So I don't think that breaks the MILF barrier. I think no stepkids, no nothing. She married to Sam Simon. They didn't have any kids. No kids. So I think it probably throws her out. She's in her 60s, super hot, gigantic rack. Just a gorgeous woman, Jennifer Tilly, but I don't think she actually fits in the MILF category.
I do have bylaws for this, so I'm being serious. There is a qualification process. If she has played or is in somewhat notorious in a motherly capacity, in film, television, etc., without kids over the age of 50, right back into the MILF category.
Okay. I respect that. I have to look that up.
Is she a mom in Bound? I can't remember.
Or
that's
Bride of Chucky.
Thing. I'm
Did
not
Bride
sure.
of Chucky have
I don't know. That's a good
We're
one.
going to have to do some research.
Hey, I believe she was in Liar Liar, wasn't she?
She was in Liar Liar, correct.
Boner material in Liar Liar.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, no question about it. I mean, she fits the list except for the kids. That's the only thing I'm worried about.
Yeah.
All right, couple other ones. Legacy one that should that to me is obvious is Sharon Stone. That's a good one. It's a no-brainer right there. I don't want to go too much into the adult films, but you know what? We're of a certain age and we love adult films. I mean, Christy Canyon's got to make an appearance in there. I'm sorry, tremendous rack. She's still very beautiful as an old woman. She had MSS 2 stepkids is what she had.
There you go. That counts.
That counts.
Shockingly, a stepmom. Shocking.
Yeah. I mean, that doesn't make any sense.
Perfect MILF is a stepmom. You get the designation. Keep
MSS reminded me of that the stepmom is very important to the MILF profile here. So we had to do that. Last two, I went with Heather Graham because she was important for pop culture of our age.
Kids,
boys. She was in Boogie Nights. I have no idea.
Yeah,
and she was in Swingers. It doesn't matter. I just love her big milky white tits. And then finally, since I'm a big mob movie guy, I felt I had to go at least one mob movie woman, and so I went with Lorraine Bracco. But great. I could choose and we go Not Soprano. Bad. We could just someday we could do a top 10 hot women in Sopranos, and we can do that. But I'll go Lorraine Bracco as my last MILF.
Tony could have fucked anybody, and he wanted to fuck her, and
so bad, and she wouldn't let him. She was holding him up.
Mostly because he couldn't, but she's still good looking. Sharizi, do you have some? I'll let you do what you have, and then I'll round out my end.
I got a few.
Yeah,
so I want
you like them big, Beef. You like them.
I like a thick woman, baby. Carl. Yeah, give me the BBWs. That's right.
I wanted to go. I wanted to go with a music one for sure, and so I got to go with Susanna Hoffs from the Bengals. This is 10 years ago. She was 56 in this picture. She's still got a fastball at 66. She's still looking great. Still out there playing. I think definitely good. And she's married, Beef, to the director of the campaign.
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah. Which is I love that movie. I think that movie's hilarious. I think he did one of the Austin Powers movies too.
And then stellar career, 5-string bass.
No, so that's a guitar. So she's guitar.
That's a Rickenbacker. Yeah,
Rickenbacker, nice.
Right?
That's a Rickenbacker. Yeah.
Good power stance.
Oh yeah. And Bengals were good, man. Bengals had some hits. And then I was like, I gotta go sci-fi because I feel like the rest of the group's not gonna go with someone from sci-fi. So from Battlestar Galactica, she played number 6 on that show. Trisha Helfer.
Hello.
So Yeah, so I mean, she was fairly hot on the show too. This is her. I think this is fairly recent. But yeah, I hadn't looked her up in a long time because I haven't watched Battlestar Galactica in forever. But she's in like a shitload of Hallmark movies now, which doesn't this doesn't seem to match up with Hallmark movie. But that's where we're at.
When you found that out, you realized how much masturbation you could do if you watched the Hallmark Network.
I realized that
you weren't even aware of it.
When Quarantine's like, we should watch this Christmas movie on Hallmark, I should be paying attention. I should at least
look up.
Give a scan.
The postman brings the muffins. Yes, he does.
And then
those Hallmark movies, that's steady income. That's an independent woman. That's a woman who knows what she wants. That's exactly what I like.
That's a woman that has 2 kids to support.
You said her name was Trisha. I didn't catch last name. This is just follow-up purposes.
Helfer. Helfer. And then my last one for you. This is from the Marvel universe, and I think that this is the one woman in the Marvel universe that they decided, you know what, we're going to cover up what she actually looks like, and that's Haley Atwell. So she played Peggy Carter. And they're like, let's tone it down. This is just Captain America's girl. And that's
Mercy.
Her. So
that's America.
So yeah, she's like my age. She's my age. I'm not 100. She's in her early 40s. Child, recent.
Does have a child. That's important. I'll keep with my. I'll go from oldest to youngest. Ione Sky, as you see here again, a very see-through outfit. Still has her fastball at 54. I mean, everyone wanted to get with her and say anything, and she got with everybody. I just finished recently listening to her biography. She slept with everybody. Red Hot Chili Peppers, Beastie Boys, everybody. She's a fun time.
Bush.
Next up,
like if you go back to that pick, that's Bush. Yep.
Oh yeah. Oh, for sure. Her dad's Donovan, for God's sakes. I mean, she's got some good stock in her. So
just commenting. I'm not seeking this comment. I'm just like, I did ask you to pull it back.
Observing. That's observing. It's okay.
Yeah. No, it's fine. It's fine. She's
got a nice set. Am I wrong?
No, you're not. And you guys remember the show Punky Brewster? Yeah, Salim Moon Fry at 48, still throwing high heat. He's not bad, just about
even after the reduction. MSS.
Even after the boob reduction, breast reduction, she's still kicking, still showing it. And then this is the easiest one, and I know you probably had this on tap somewhere ready to go. But Jessica Simpson, I mean, she is dumb, but you know what? She is still looking great. Like the woman doesn't understand.
Oh, kick her out.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying.
Resident genius, MSS.
I mean, I'm just saying.
She may not be the brightest. She could.
She's MSS likes to break a mental sweat as well.
Still doing good.
Reading a dictionary over there.
They used to say you couldn't just have sex all night. You had to have something to talk about. I don't agree with that at my age anymore. You can just fuck. You don't really have to worry about talking. You can save your talking for your friends and some other people that you agree with.
It'll be. I mean, hypothetically speaking, of course, I wouldn't imagine she'd be sticking around very long. It wouldn't be.
No.
Would you like a coffee? Yeah. I think she'd be humiliated. I think she'd be embarrassed out the door. Anyways, that was good. This was a good segment. I have a lot of good thinking points here, and I appreciate the diversity in the specificity here. It was like you guys weren't just throwing me heaters. You guys were commanding your fastballs. You know what I'm saying? There's a difference.
We're locating. Yeah. No, we had. Yes, absolutely.
There's not a lot of 71-year-olds out there.
Now, I know a lot of you are going to go, hey, man, where can I go see if any of these MILFs make it to MILF for the day? And it's carlsblogs.com. You got to go check it out. Make sure to go there. Carl, thank you so much for joining us, man. It's great to see you. Great to talk to you. And I hope we see you really soon. Anything you want to plug before we go?
I have a special lineup preview tomorrow where I'm announcing a special thing for Chicago fans. I think you guys are going to enjoy this old partnership. Just fucking getting back in there, firing it up. But I can't announce it yet. Little teaser here though. Very excited for that. That's tomorrow. And I do those stupid lineup previews. I love them. It's just great. And it's a good task for me every day to stay in it. Cause like the other day it was like Dansby's leading off. I almost had a heart attack, That was crazy. So, and then I do the Monday morning Cub show with a very close friend of mine, and we have a good relationship and a good banter. And so we're starting to get some momentum on that. It's out on Monday mornings, and they're usually just like 45 minutes. And it's like us hammering, just like big stuff. Like we talked about today, Matt Shaw, Cade Horton, etc. And it's a really good friend of mine. So, even if you're not a Cubs fan, a Cubs fan, let them know that I got a podcast, where we're getting deep into it. And then the last thing, obviously, thanks guys. I love what you guys do. I really do. I'm a huge fan. I love the section. And I just as a Cubs fan, I accept I'm an outsider, but I like being as close as I can, given my fandom, and you guys do an awesome job. And I mean it. Thank you for having me on, and good luck to both teams.
Thank you,
Carl. And thanks for coming on, brother.
Using your time
so much for coming on. We'll see you soon, man. Have a good one.
That's
great.
Carl.
That was awesome.
Carl'sBlog.com.
Now I think we gotta lay it on the line here, though. We gave him some great suggestions.
Yeah,
I think we got to do
whose milk gets in first.
Yeah, and we got to do some kind of a drink bet here.
Oh,
we got
to bet on everything.
So you know what I realized though? He analyzed my milk. He realized I like the thicker girls, and I don't think he does a lot of the thick girls. He might go thick girl first.
Oh, that's a good call.
So I might have a little advantage on you guys.
Who knows?
That's a good call. We'll see. I'm excited. Someone's going to owe me a bottle of champagne when Haley Atwell gets in there right away.
Oh, man. That's a surpriser. That was a surprising
pick. Big old biddies, I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, I'm going to have to do some research after the show.
You guys should watch more Marvel movies, man.
I'm good.
You just send us those pictures. We'll figure it out after that.
Let us know which ones we should watch.
That's time to pay some bills.
All right, let's do it. Yeah. Here we go. Tired of driving something that feels like it's stuck in winter? Shift into spring with a brand new Mazda from Mazda of Orland Park. Sleek design, Sky Active performance, tech that gets you and your playlist, and MPG that will make your wallet wanna dance. From the sporty Mazda 3 to the adventure-ready CX-5, we've got the perfect ride for your spring road trip, daily commute, or spontaneous ice cream run, because you can now. Special spring gigs are rolling in now. Trade in, trade up, drive out, renting. Located just off 159th Street in Orland Park. Stop by today or shop anytime online at MazdaofOrlandPark.com. Mazda of Orland Park, home of the Zoom Zoom Nation. Drive something that actually gets you. Yeah.
All right. Let's catch up on a couple drinks here.
Let's do it.
Gordo says, "Cheers, Carl. Fuck Beef Loaf 2025." Cheers, Gordo.
Cheers. Hope you're doing good, Gordo. You some bitch.
Hey, Gordo.
Pedro's back. He says, "Cheers to the future fart walk. Never trust a fart." Cheers.
Thank you, Pedro. I ran to the bathroom while the ad was playing, and I hammered a huge fart right before I got.
Oh man,
it was a mini fart walk, if you will.
A lot of trust there.
Especially late in the show.
All right, well, it's time for Treasy Might Be Drunk and White Sox Talk. Now, we talked about this a little bit, but a question to both of you. Are you sick of the Pope stuff yet? Beef, where are you at on this?
Let me play a short video because this was the weekend of the Pope getting announced. And we're at the ballpark, and we got some fake popes trotting around, trying to get ingest some of the prestige of being pope, and they're trying to start the goddamn wave. We got a big crowd happening right now. The fake popes are trying to start the wave, which is absolutely horrible.
Don't want to stand.
Sit the hell down. What is wrong with you? Sit your ass down. Fake popes, sit down. They're leaving now. They realize they've overstepped. Gabriel's big head is in the way right now. I can't see the fake popes. They'll evade it shortly. Okay. Fake popes, goodbye. See ya, goodbye. Get lost. No wave. Fuck off. Kiss my ass. Get out of here.
You got a little slur in you there. I love it.
What the fuck, man? I've been hammering all day.
We drank a lot that day.
I loved in the background. I loved in the background. We're over 30. We don't want to stand.
We don't want to stand. And people were agreeing with it also. Look, that's kind of where I'm at with the Pope thing in general, Treasy, because to me it feels like, and I was watching this unfold, and we brought it up in the last segment. It's like the Pope thing got killed so quickly in social media and became so boring and redundant, and like everyone's doing the same jokes and everyone's trying to make a Pope shirt, and it's like this, man, they really suffocated that. They choked this thing to death, and it was like quickly it became not fun anymore, almost immediately to me.
I think you're looking at it from our perspective, like the 108 perspective, right? We try to take a unique stance in things and do things that are like, bring things to light that aren't necessarily out there, that are very popular. But people love this shit. More people have asked me about this and said this shit to me. Like, the Pope's a Sox fan. You got to love it. I mean, if I'm on B96 morning show for 6 minutes and Baloney is doing a 9-minute segment on, what was it? Fox News, News. And you're just like, oh, Jesus Christ. I mean, we're not, I'm not saying that we're bottom feeders in White Sox Twitter because there's like 58 podcasts, but like, we're definitely like, up at the top, but like, my God, you're going to us for these comments. And that's great. That just shows you how hungry people are for the Pope content.
And I'm glad you said that they're hungry for it, because my Pope meme coin is dropping tomorrow. And I want everybody to invest. It's not a scam. It's not a scam. It's very legit. No one's getting rug pulled. It's going to be great. So just buy as many Pope meme coins from me as possible. It's a great investment. Free kids.
Give it to your friends. Have you noticed that his brother? Have you noticed any of the stuff that they dug up on his brother? That he is a wild conservative.
Oh, I thought you were going to say he was doing cocaine.
Yeah, like no.
Seven's favorite cocaine.
Maybe
is the brother doing cocaine.
I just know that he called Nancy
bad doing cocaine.
He did call Nancy Pelosi a cunt, like on Twitter. So, like, I mean, he's got.
In Carl's blogs, he talks about her big milkers. So, I mean, like, we got the balance on the show today. Well, here's what I wonder, boys. Like, I'm already sick of it, but I wonder if it's just because we're all so new to having a Pope that is one of us. And so, like, we got too excited right out of the gate, and we pushed it too hard, and it got dumb and boring. But maybe it could come back and be fun again at some point. Or did we ruin it? You think we ruined it?
I think we ruined it. But I will say,
Gen Pop still likes it though.
I feel like, well, yeah, I know. I mean, I talked about this with Greenberg on Twitter. He's like, "Where's your Pope stuff?" I was like, "It's filed next to the Haktua stuff," and it's just quite true. Shredding.
That's good.
Like, so I got no interest in it. But I also, and that's the reason I don't have any interest in it, is because it's been hammered to death already. But it's gonna fade away so fast. Like, how often do you hear from the Pope? Like in my feed, like I don't like when they were like, "Oh, the Pope died." I was like, "Oh my God." I didn't even know who was Pope.
I could not name the Pope.
Oh, I could name him.
What was his name?
Pope Francis.
What was his real name?
Oh, I don't know his real name. I just know it's Pope Francis.
The only reason you know Pope Francis because he just recently.
No, I have because he was a very.
Who was the Pope before Francis?
He was quick.
Yeah, exactly.
He died quick though. He was a quick Pope.
Well, the guy that looked like Palpatine. The guy looked like the Emperor from Star Wars.
Say the guy looked like Petyo.
All I know is that I know that he died quickly. But the Pope, I know the second Pope is because he was more forward thinking, and I also have a bobblehead of him because my parents brought me a bobblehead back from Italy. So I had a Pope bobblehead, so I knew Pope Francis.
Let's get a drink here from Trey. It's a shit day. Appreciate the laughs, guys. Trey, hope tomorrow goes better.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Cheers, buddy. Hope you're doing.
And Trey was also he was vouching for the thick girls in the comments. So Trey, you're a man of my own style.
Trey, don't attach your feelings to Bryce Wilson going out to pitch for the White Sox. It's just a bad.
No one should.
Bad look.
MSS is correct.
He doesn't have it together yet. So just wait. Like, attach them to somebody else, maybe like a Shane Smith.
All right. So I'm glad we got to the bottom of that. You guys are each going to invest $10K in my Pope meme coin tomorrow. So we're dropping all the
still, hang on though. MSS is still kind of into it, Treasy. And I think he's a little sour that we didn't want to do Pope merch. He knows it would sell. He feels a little sour right now because he's very he kept mentioning, well, it's not the general population, it's
we can't say what I said in the chat about how I felt about Pope merch. Okay, we can't say that. But
I ain't letting you outsell my Star Wars ripoff with your Pope ripoff. All right, it's like,
dude, our original history shirt outsold pretty much everything else that we've ever sold, except for the 108 shirt, which we made in every fucking thing. So I mean, you can't beat the 108 shirt. You just can't.
No, the 108 shirt we did in like 1,000 different colors, and we got to bring that back. I want the Bears one
in 1,000 differth colors,
and so that we can tell.
Yeah.
We should bring the Bears one back,
so we can tell people it's U of I colors.
Will it be pro? Will it be pro Caleb Williams or anti Caleb Williams?
Both. It could be both.
Oh hey, my God! There's technically an 18 in there. All right.
What a scene! All right.
MSS is mad at us, but that's all right. We're gonna get into this. We're gonna go. We're 25% of the season.
Mad dogging, baby.
Our guy Lovie Smith, other than saying that Rex is our quarterback, he'll say that this is the first quarter. In this first quarter, what is one thing that the Sox are doing well? My Sox Summer, I'll start with you, buddy.
I'll take the easiest one. I'll take it right off the board because you guys are baseball geniuses. So it's starting pitching. Starting pitching has been electric. It is way better than we thought it was going to be. They've gone out there and they've put together 6-inning stretches that are just amazing. I have been thrilled with the way pitching has worked this year so far. They're doing that incredibly well.
I think in some of the guys are doing well, and I think one thing that I like is that they're throwing more strikes. It's you don't see as many shitty walks, but it's uneven. It's uneven for sure. I think that I like Shane Smith. I think we've seen some good stuff out of Jonathan Cannon. Davis Martin is escaping a lot of shit. Burke and
nice outing the other night though for Davis.
Burke and Bryce. I'm a little less.
Bryce doesn't count. Doesn't count.
Martin Perez was good. Perez was having a nice
good before he got hurt.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that we lost him. MSS, I like where you're going with exclude Bryce from this because
I don't want him.
He wasn't really part of the plan, but they've got to come up with something to replace his innings.
True.
I don't know who it's going to be, where they're going to find it from, but it's a problem.
We're on a shoestring budget. I was listening to the 670 the other day. Steve Stone was on there, and he's like, "Listen, this team knows they don't have a lot of money, and so they're doing the best with what they can do. And hopefully, we're gonna roll this. Shut up, Trey. That ain't gonna make you feel better. It ain't gonna make you feel better at all.
Busting your chops does make him feel better, by the way.
But hopefully, we can get." Hopefully there's somebody in the drop that we don't know about, and they're going to come up and they're going to do really good because that's what we need right now. But it's just not there yet with him.
All right,
I got a comment here on the pitching. That MSS brought up. So the White Sox ERA starting pitcher ERA is 15th in Major League Baseball, which is good, right in the middle of the pack.
Bad.
After the team had been really bad, even when they had Garrett Crochet last year, they were horrible. Now, when you flip it over to the FIP, Treasy, and you and I are not big FIP fans, but I'm trying to look at underlying metrics, whatever. They fall down to 25th, and so they're really kind of outperforming what the underlying nerd stats would say that they're doing. Now, that could be a combination of things. That could be pitchers really executing on certain things and getting soft contact. That could be the defense being positioned better, which I believe is the case. A better defense just in general, where you have Michael Taylor out in right field is a much better defender than Gavin Sheets or whatever bullshit you run out there. Miguel Vargas really holding it down at third base, etc. I think they're also getting some mileage. And that wouldn't show up in the stats I just mentioned to you. I think they're getting mileage out of doing the opener because the opener has been very effective, especially for Jonathan Cannon. His 2 starts behind the opener have been tremendous. And so I think that really the White Sox are trying to use every piece of advantage they have to help out these starting pitchers. And I agree, Bryce Wilson shouldn't really be a part of this, although they had planned the season with him being in there. The plan was not to have Shane Smith, right? But you got to take your happy accidents with it as it is. And so Bryce Wilson just is what it is, wearing it right now. So I love that pick by MSS because it has been a highlight. It has been man, Johnny Cannon looked really good today, or man, Shane Smith looked really good today, and that was fun to watch, even if the White Sox didn't win the game.
And you mentioned the defense, but the weak contact that you mentioned is up over last year. Like that is also improved. The amount of weak contact that the pitching staff's getting. So that is good. Beef, what are you looking at as the thing that they're doing well?
I've been tweeting this a little bit, and it's a little more of an intangible thing than it is a statistical thing. But I think that the White Sox of 2025 compared to 2024, they play through the whistle. What I mean is they are playing hard, and they are taking their at-bats seriously all the way got to the goddamn end of the game kind of consistently. And we've seen it a little bit in some of these comebacks that they were able to do. The Tuesday night comeback was outstanding. Extra innings, and you thought they're dead, and then next thing you know, Chase Maidroth swings and hits a ball that's over his head and chops it into right field for a hit, and then Miguel Vargas homers, and the next thing you know, everything falls into place. I think everyone's playing harder, and I think they're playing together. And I'm going to give the credit to Will Venable early on here, quarter into the season. I'm going to give him the credit. I've heard that his disposition is about being extremely positive, a lot of positive reinforcement. Now, that's going to upset guys whose fathers hate them, who think that every coach needs to be Bobby Knight and needs to abuse the players. Because generally,
like that.
In a workplace, positive reinforcement is the best method. So it makes some of them guys sour. I think everyone's playing hard. Even Andrew Vaughn, who his hustling to me looks like he's running with dump in his pants and getting thrown out by 17 feet at home plate. But I think he's still working hard and still hustling too, even though there's been some tweets out there by certain former minor leaguers saying that he's not a hustle guy. I think he has been hustling. I think the whole team's been hustling. And I think it's a reflection of the manager. I think the manager has set a tone that is good for this team. Now, they don't have enough talent. And I don't know technically, strategically, if Will Venable's a good manager yet. He makes a lot of moves, but we're not there yet. But I think that the energy that he provides to the clubhouse and his guidance so far has been a positive influence, and I think that's why they're playing well late into games.
I couldn't tell if MSS was going to sneeze or throw up.
No,
I was very excited for a second.
I'm very much in agreement on that, and I do give Will a shitload of credit for that because they don't look dead when they're down. And last year, if you saw that shit where the Reds came back and tied up the game and they go into extras, you saw that team fold like a house of cards, and they look like little bitches out there. And they're like, we don't know how to win. We don't with these bats and this love. We don't know what to do. And then but this year, it's not like that. It's like, hey, you know what? We might lose, but we're going to fucking go down swinging and fighting and balls bouncing off our head and all sorts of shit. But we're going to go out there and try. And that I think that it's definitely, they have revitalized that clubhouse at least good enough to make them think we got a shot here, boys. And maybe, I don't know. It's good. It's just good. And it is coming through, and I like it. I like it a lot.
I'm with you both on this one. And I think that I'll get into mine because I think it's correlated to both of yours, right? So we talked about the pitching, and then we also talked about, them. You're talking about playing through the whistle. Beef, one of the things that I like in terms of that is that the pitchers have been getting in rough situations and getting out of those rough situations, right? And I think both of those things lend to what I'm going to bring up, which is the defense positioning. This is from an eye test. I think we've all been sitting in the stands and going it just looks like they're in the right place more often. They're doing something to be in the right place, and the metrics back it up. So infield shift defensive runs saved, they're at 5 right now. Now that's kind of middle of the package. It's 12th, which is nice. I mean, that's good.
Fine.
But compare it to last season, which the entire season, and that's a cumulative stat, that the entire season, they were at 10 defensive runs saved, which land them 20th. This is on infield shifting. And when you see these things where you're sometimes last year was just bad luck. You make your own luck sometimes, right? We were laughing. It was Friday night, I think, when Bryce Wilson last pitched, and he only gave up 2 runs. But we were like, man, that was a rough outing for two runs. And we were talking about the play when they bring the defense in, and a line drive just goes right at Lenyn Sosa. And, it's part luck, but it's also part, you know, you make your own luck sometimes, right? You don't make your own luck sometimes. But when you see these things where you're you're sometimes last year was just bad luck. You make your own luck sometimes, right? You make your own luck sometimes. And when you see these things where you're but it's also part last year he'd probably be playing just the normal ass second base position, and that goes right up the middle.
Yeah, it goes
right.
Through, yep.
I think there was another one. I didn't get to watch the game today, but I think there was another one today. I think when Spencer Steer was up, similar situation, like second and third line out. Now they still scored a shitload of runs, but like
actually they got cooked.
But those types of things, you know, like making those plays and being in position to make those plays. See, like there was a lot of times when we'd be at the park and a ball would go to like a huge hole in the outfield.
Yeah.
Right. Or, you know, it'd go right up the middle, and you're like, they didn't know that this guy hits up the middle like every time, and he does it like 3 times in a game. You know, like that was the frustrating thing. And like to see them just making this minor improvement of like being like in the spot that you probably should be in. And it kind of repositions the idea that like they had bad luck. It's like they had bad coaching. Right. And like McKinnon coming in and doing this. And I'm giving this to McKinnon. I think that this is his game planning.
Old number 9, right?
It's 9? Great. Yeah,
9 fingers.
It's great. It's great to see. It's great to see it. I don't know if you guys feel the same. If you think it's unlocked.
I agree 100%, Treasy. I was say you want to jump in first, MSS?
Well,
go ahead,
what
man.
I was going to say, Lope, you remember like 2021 when they're in the playoffs and like fucking the Houston's like ripping the ball right up the middle, like just every fucking ripping it right back up. Yep. And I look at you and I go, how come they can do that? And every time we hit it up there, fucking little legs Altuve's running over there and catching the ball because he's in the right position. And it's like it took 4 years for us to figure out where to put a guy to catch the ball. It's like, I mean, that it's insanity. But yes, and back to your point, Chirizi, you finally have somebody in going, no, dummy, you're not supposed to be over there like me positioning my kids in T-ball. You should be closer to where this guy's probably going to hit the ball. God damn it. We're going to use these fucking numbers that we have and all this intel, and we're going to put you over there. So yeah, no, that was like the only thing in my head I'm thinking the entire time. I'm like, the fucking playoffs, and we couldn't get a fucking hit, and it's like little legs fucking kidding everything.
John Carney's definitely right. It is a low bar. It's a low bar we're working with.
It's a low bar, but also
when you watch the history of baseball last year.
Right.
It's a low bar, but when you watch the World Series last year, some of these minor things that the Yankees did not do well, that the Dodgers did do well, ended up being the difference in the series. Like, well, and defensive positioning and being able to run on certain people. And so like them catching up in those ways, yeah, they haven't caught up as far as like overall stock talent, but at least having the tools to play a game each day reasonably well is good. Treasy, it's funny you brought that up because we don't make it out to spring training. We got stuff going on or whatever. I'm in my busy season at work or whatever. But our good friend Aloha Mr. Hand did make it out to spring training. He makes it out every year. When he came back, and I think it was when we were doing a live show. Before we were on stage, I was like, well, you know, hit me with what you saw, what you noticed about the White Sox.
Yeah.
And one of his main points that he noticed from watching the games was like, he's like, Beef, they just look like they're in position better. He goes, balls get hit and they're to them instead of like, oh, it's going through the most obvious hole that it shouldn't go through and like no one's there. And it was a funny point to bring up, but I was like, oh, that's interesting. You know, like maybe that is a thing. And it looks like it is a thing, Trees. Yeah. It looks like it became a thing. It's like, they're like, okay, fine, we're going to use more data and we're going to figure out where these people need to be positioned. It is great. Like these sound like John Carney says, they sound like little small dumb things, but yeah, we got to get these things right first.
Yep.
And then you start getting the talent out there and then you figure it out.
But think about it this way. Think about with the talent you have right now, right? Like you're seeing like Chase Mydroth playing a serviceable shortstop. Imagine when you get a guy over there with a rocket for a fucking arm, like, and with tons of range,
with some range,
like, and you put a guy like that in that position. Like I'm excited to see what they can do when they actually do that, if they ever do it. But we talked about the good. We got to talk about the bad, right? So what are they still doing poorly? Beef, I'll start with you.
Yeah, they don't bullpen too good.
Yeah.
Like kind of at all. They are second to last in win probability added in MLB. And I think they would be last if it weren't for the openers, because those guys, like in the opener games, the starters have pitched into the leverage situations and done really well generally. And so they're soaking up some of that, right? So some of the leverage spots. And like they legit have a lot of trash out there, especially right-handed, lacking for right-handed pitchers. Evidenced by fucking Big Daddy Mike Vassell having to get a fucking save last night. He's coming into the 9th inning, boys, and I'm like, really? They're really putting him in there? And I was praying, like, please let this young man lock this down. It's a 2-run lead, and he doesn't have closer stuff, and he's not going to strike anyone out here, but he's got a good attitude. And then, like, he gets the first guy out nice and easy. He fucking walks Will Benson on 4 pitches. I'm like, shit. But then he bared down and fucking got out of it. I was like, thank goodness for this young man. But that's like they're just doing a lot of shit like that. Like they don't have a bullpen ace. You know, there's like 1 or 2 guys you trust back there. For me, Jordan Leisure is becoming as much of a bubble guts guy for me personally as Aaron Palmer. You know, I was a Penn Murphy guy. He's long gone. He sucked. Left Murphy, aka Jared Schuster, still out there. He sucks. He's not much better. Like I see the White Sox are randomly trading for Miguel Castro today for cash just to put a right-handed arm in there that has experience in the bullpen because it's been so bad. It like hurts me to have a bullpen this bad 2 years in a row, boys. 2 years in a row. Banny built that fucking bullpen last year. It sucked eggs. They built this one this year, and it's sucking just as bad, in my opinion.
Beef, we did that whole podcast, me and you, about how, man, let's check out this bullpen experiment they're doing last year. We were interested, you know, we see how it's going to go. It went very poorly. It's going very poorly again. When you talk about Mike Vassell, I was looking at him going like, you know, maybe they should stretch this dude out and he should be taking those Bryce Wilson innings. And then last night I was like, or this. All right, I guess this is something.
And I like Vassell. And there's no shade in it too. Like
I'm talking about him starting.
He's doing a good job. Like
not a closer.
Not a closer. But they're like, hey, Mike, just fucking take the ball. You know what? We need a righty. We're out of righties. We got no one. You and Jacob Amaya are the only guys in both on the right-handed. We're gonna bring you in. Let's go.
I must ask your thoughts on that.
I mean, that's my pick too. Like closing out games, relief pitching. I mean, it is. I made that sweet ass tweet yesterday. Like I was feeling the confidence, feeling the flow, and like, you know, Sox are up, and I put out my Forrest Gump. Sorry to ruin your Pete Rose party. And Loaf's like, yeah, I'm gonna wait to retweet that until after the Sox win the game. And I was like, motherfucker. He's like, I don't want to jinx them. And then as soon as they bring in whoever the first reliever fucking hits a home run on the first pitch, and I was like, fuck, I just jinxed him. I fucking just jinxed him. And then I was like, because I was thinking of all the ways to tell Loaf that needed to have confidence and how he's going to yell at him that he had to have confidence, but it doesn't inspire confidence when the first pitch is a home run, you know, and you're just like, okay, I might have just fucked them. So, I mean, I understand why Vassell was like excited as fuck when he won that game last night because they have not had a lot of things to cheer about. And it's bad. It looks horrible. I'm not ready to blame Brian Bannister yet, but he probably deserves a lot of the blame. But it's like, we got to find these guys and we got to start getting some people in there because the starting pitching, like we said, you know, it's a bright spot. It's not a high bar. It's not great, but it's better. But this is still in the dumpster. This is way down in the bottom of the dumpster with like the water that you don't know if it's like liquid from something or what it is, and it stinks. You don't want to touch it, and if it gets on you, it's eating your arm away. You don't want it. That's our bullpen. So hopefully you have something different, Treasy, that we don't.
I do have something different, but I want to get to this drink first.
Go ahead. I want to get to that comment too.
JT says, I got nothing. Just want MSS to enjoy more of that Mad Dog. Well, cheers.
Yes, JT. Appreciate you.
I'll tell you this, JT. I ain't going to bed until this shit is done. So like, I'm not wasting. Like, I'm not ever going back into my fridge to get.
Hey, podcast meeting gonna be great.
Can you keep a little bit of that? I need some for my windshield wipers.
Like, hey, you wouldn't want this. It's too sticky. But yeah, it's like I'm not going to offer this to somebody when they come over to my house. It's like, hey, you want some Mad Dog? I saved it from the other night. Absolutely not.
Now, John Carney brings up the point in the comments. He said, team has no power or velocity, but power and velocity cost money. Now, the power part, I agree with you. Power plus. I mean, like, you can get a power hitter who doesn't do shit else but power for nothing. But the velocity, a lot of teams can find a failed starter or someone that throws 99 and then they craft them into a reliever. And they have not done this. I get it. Like, the already baked, like, superstar reliever, they cost a lot of money. But you could find a random motherfucker on the street and get one good year out of him throwing hard. And the Sox, to my my viewpoint right here, they haven't even fucking tried yet. I haven't seen them even try this shit yet.
They're still down there. They're still down there going like Brady and Iriarte are starters.
Yeah, exactly. They finally moved Winkleman Gonzalez to the bullpen. I had Matt Crawford on the on show on Monday, and he brought up the guy has pitched 6 innings. He's been fucking lights out as a reliever. Good.
Yep.
Bring that motherfucker up. Let's get him going and see. He's already had
Winkle Jones.
Yeah, bring that up, Treasy. I've been seeing everyone have a heart attack about the Grant Taylor. I don't think they're making him a reliever or long term. I think they have a strategy. Here's the thing we're discounting here. We think development needs to go in an exact certain way in which it always does. And I think the White Sox are they're tinkering with a lot of shit right now. They're doing a lot of different things. They're trying some stuff. They sent one of their top prospects to Arizona for a fucking boot camp for 2 weeks.
Oh,
all right, they're trying all kinds of shit. So Grant Taylor to the bullpen for a while, to me, does not mean he's not going to be a starter again. They're just trying some shit. So let's not all panic. Let's just wait and see what the fuck happens out of this, because I think they're going to try a lot of methods for stuff. Some of them are going to suck, but let's just wait it out and see what happens.
What's funny is that they're going to call him up tomorrow, Beef. He's closing now.
He'd be the best guy we have in the bullpen.
We thought Wrigley with the wind blowing out would be
that's the best spot to bring him up.
Wind blowing right out. Let's bring him in.
So I'm gonna go a different direction. I'm not gonna go on the pitching side. I'm gonna go on the hitting side, which I think is obvious as well. But a very specific thing that I have a problem with this team, and that's that they don't take advantage of bad pitches as much as they should. And so, Beef, you wrote a really nice article about the walks being up and who's contributing to that, and just some of the unexpected people that are maybe in there. But what's down, what's really shitty on this team is their barrel rate, which means their pitch selection is better. They're not swinging as many bad pitches, but when there is a pitch that they should swing at and they're hitting it, they're not making good contact with it. And that's a huge problem. And I think that's where, we just talking about this 30 seconds ago. It's a talent thing. This is where it gets to the talent and like the physical ability of these players. And now in some cases you can make a tweak and get them to be able to get better contact by bringing the bat around quicker. You're seeing that with Miguel Vargas.
Yep.
But a lot of these guys, man, it's like they might make the right selection, but they just don't have the physical skill to put the bat on the ball the way you need to make great contact and drive the ball. And like, it's one of my biggest concerns with a guy like Chase Mydroth, right? Like where like we're getting, he's playing really nice. And like, he's doing a lot of stuff where he's hitting it the opposite way and things like that. It's just, I wonder if there is enough physical ability there for people to continue to walk it. They do, right? Like, or is it just going to be like, go ahead, try and hit it by us. Like, we're going to throw you strikes because we don't think you could do much. And like, I'm more worried about guys like that than guys that are like Lenine Sosa, where I'm just like, yeah, we know what you are. If left-handed pitchers out there, great. If not, you should sit on the bench, right? And like or Andrew Vaughn, where I'm just like, he's having a nice little run right now, but I'm still just out on Andrew Vaughn, right? Like I'm not worried about those. I'm worried about the younger guys. And can these younger guys?
What do they become? Right?
Can they get these barrel rates up to a point where you're like, yes, this is a guy that's making great contact with the ball. He's got I think most of the guys that we've seen that have come up, the young guys, other than Elko, I think Elko's a special case because Elko's just a monster home run hitter. Yeah, he's going to strike out a ton. But like these other guys, they seem to have great control of the plate, and I want to see these barrel rates get up to the point where they're driving up the entire team's barrel rate, and we're just not there yet. And I want to see good contact, and I think Luis Robert is a problem here. Like he's one of these guys that like you see they hang a ball over the plate and he's like fouling it off, and you're like, that's what he used to hit 500 feet.
Yeah, that's the 38 home run season. He smashed that out of the park.
That's a lot of what we're seeing right now, and the metrics bear it out, right? I mean, they're second to last in slugging at 328 slugging, right? And their barrel rate is like 7 or something. It's like fucking really low. It's not the worst in the league, but it's like bottom like 5 or something. Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're totally right about this. And I think Edgar Caro is, to me, more of a concern than Meidroth is. I think Meidroth can live on the edges, especially with what he's doing there. But I think the White Sox, the way they set their team up, they're going to need more offense out of these catchers, and especially if they think that Edgar Caro is going to be DH first base some of the time. There's got to be some power there. But I like how you delineated the decisions versus the athleticism, because in the last segment we were talking to Carlos Sterk, and he's like, yeah, PCA is so athletic. And that's why he can get away with not walking and not having those great decisions.
Right.
Because when he makes real good contact, that ball's fucking gone, man. He just crushed that thing. And you want more of those guys. Like the example for the White Sox you're watching, and you got him in the Garrett Crochet trade, is Braden Montgomery right now in the minors. He is just laying waste to everything, right? Because he has tremendous power. And there's the strength and athleticisms to do all this stuff when the mistake is being made. And Luis used to be that, but the White Sox currently don't. I mean, like, you're right. Vargas is probably the closest thing they got on the roster right now, can actually do this.
Beef, I don't know if this is just like a mess up on Baseball Savant, but I looked this up earlier and I just checked it to double check that it's like, I was hoping like, this will probably update and it'll be something different.
Look at, he starts like a fire starts in front of him.
Yeah, sorry, because I'm looking at something not in dark mode. So it goes bright.
Yeah, I love it though.
But it says
it looks so warm and comfy.
Out of the 55 batted balls that Chase Meidroth has, 0 barrels.
Check Edgar Caro, because I had tweeted there the no barrel brothers, because Edgar Caro had no barrels either.
I don't want to set my eyes on fire anymore.
And yeah, it was surprising to me, Treasy, that neither one of them had a goddamn barrel yet. Now they've been productive. Don't get me wrong. I mean, they haven't been bad players.
No, I mean, I like what I'm seeing out of both of them.
But eventually, to be really good, you're gonna have to do all that shit. You're gonna have to get a barrel. You're gonna have to get many barrels to get this thing in. Yeah, but Edgar Caro, 58 batted balls, no barrels.
Yeah, I don't remember it was today. Trey Williams says, I want to see Vargas keep slugging. I don't know if it was today or it was the first play last night. Vargas ran out that first base, it's like that run to first base, like a ground in the infield. And like he was legging that motherfucker. And so much that they had to challenge it, and then they overturned his safe call. But it was like, it was great.
That was today.
Okay, so it was great to see him leg something out and run his ass off to first base and like whatever. But it was like just show that effort, but then also not getting hurt, running like as hard as you fucking can to first base and not crumpling down,
not hitting the bag and your knee just exploding. Right? Like,
I was so happy when I saw that. I was like, look at this guy out here fucking trying to make shit happen. So yeah, I need him to keep slugging and I need him to keep fucking giving max effort like that, because it was great. And then not getting hurt is a key too.
Yeah, Teresa, I think the way they're building this, they're building it in stages. The White Sox brass, and stage one has been to find the guys that make good swing decisions, and then they're going to back that up, I hope, with the guys that have power, and to have both. That's when you have a star, and that's when you have someone really special. Those guys are tougher to find, but I think there's probably a lineup mix where you can have 6 or 7 of these swing decision guys and a couple guys who just rip, and you have a decent lineup.
Yeah, but I wanted to bring this up because I feel like in we got to bring up Eddie Murphy every once in a while. We're out there starving, and we just get with these. We've got thrown some crackers like Edgar Caro and Chase Meidroth, and they might not be Ritz guys. They might not be Ritz crackers.
They might not be.
Right? It might be salty and maybe even just a plain ass old cracker, right? Like, but that's the thing because I want to bring that up because I like those guys. I think that they're good baseball players. And I've talked about this a lot where we're like, can we just get some average ass baseball players out there?
Mm-hmm.
But what you're going to see the difference between a guy that is a good baseball player, that's a 1 to 2 WAR guy, that's going to be a contributor to your team, and a guy that's going to make an impact in your team is them knocking the shit out of the pitches that are mistakes. And we don't have that right now.
Mm-mm.
Tim Elko's our best version of that right now. And he's only gotten 1 mistake so far. But if we want to see Miguel Vargas become something, that's what you got to look for. When someone's hanging a curveball, it's not, did he take a walk? Did he not, did he work the count well? it's when that mistake happens, when the one good pitch you get in a bat, he's knocking the shit out of it. That's the player that you start to count on. And I want to see more of those guys developed in the system. And I feel like I'm asking a lot, but I'm not. I don't think we have it yet. I don't think we see it yet. And so that's why I'm very nervous about that.
You know what? It's funny because, as I said, I listened to the score and Steve Stone was on it and he brought up the same thing. He said, pitchers are going to make mistakes and these guys need to act on it. And he was speaking directly about Elko. It's like, you need to take advantage of it because when they make that mistake, you need to be able to do it. And he's one that can actually do it. And so I think Stevie Stone agrees with you 100%. And that's why you got a great baseball mind, Chirizi. You and Steve Stone, you're like,
I still remember Daniel Palka talking about it in the year that he stunk, and he was like, I foul off the best pitch every time, and that's what's happening to me right now. And like, it's great for a player to be that honest, but it's heartbreaking. Such a small amount of opportunities that you have to take such advantage of it, and it takes physicality that I don't know that we've got on a lot of these with a lot of these players. So we'll see. Bringing Tauchman back, getting Slater back in there. We'll have a better hitting team soon. Let's see what they do with it. Boys, any other comments on that before we get to the next segment, which is thank yous and GFYs,
motherfucker.
MSS, who are you thinking of GFY?
I want to give a big thank you, shout out to Mike Downey over there with the White Sox for donating prizes for our Cork show that's going down this Saturday at Cork at the Park, or Sunday at this Cork at the Park. God, Mad Dog was getting to me right there. But also, he gave us a Dick Allen bobblehead with a stogie that we auctioned off on eBay, and we raised over $200 for American Cancer Society. So, and also thanks to everyone that bid on it and put it up there. But yeah, $202, 100% went to the American Cancer Society. So thank you to Mike Downey from the White Sox.
Hell yeah. Lovely. Beef, who you thinking of GFY?
I'm going to thank Fasan Florist at 35th and Ashland. They always come through in the clutch for old Beeflo for holidays or whenever I need flowers for my girls, including this past Mother's Day, knocking down a beautiful arrangement for Mrs. Beef that I ordered. So thanks to them for doing what they always do.
Good job.
No free ads, but a free ad for them. Great florists. Go there, order online. They deliver candy, and they got a rewards program. So get into that shit.
Nice. Chirizi, who are you thinking of GFY?
I'm a GFY myself because I totally forgot to get back to Beef's banter. I cut him.
No. Don't worry about it. Save it for next time. We're all good, baby.
I cut him, and so I'm gonna need to know whatever it was after the show. We'll talk about it. Hopefully it's enough. Hopefully it's enough to turn into a blog. But remember, this Sunday, we're gonna be up at Cork at the Park. Let me get this image up. Cork at the Park. Don't forget about this. I need everybody up there Sunday. I need all of you up there Sunday. You got to be there.
Please come.
12.
We have prizes, drink specials, and no bingo.
I cannot wait. It's going to be a blast. We'll see you soon. We got a drink. Good call.
Cheers, Praz.
Cheers, Praz. He says, good luck. A great weekend, friends. Cheers, Praz.
Cheers, Praz.
Go Sox.
I was busy doing all my stuff.
I love it.
All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll talk to you all soon.
Thanks for spending your little Friday with us. Hope you enjoyed yourself. We gave you your fill of baseball, beer, and bullshit. Now it's time for you to go do horny stuff. We'll see you next week. Espanol. That's adios, motherfucker.